Arsenal have, they've bottled it, but have they bottled it? That's kind of the question here, because obviously losing a title to Manchester City, there's no shame in it. And
yes, there is. Yes, there is shame in it.
Yeah, because you would know it.
No, there is shame in it.
Because you would know in it.
Yeah, there is shame in it because you lot were at the top for 248 days.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just call it what it is. It's not because City's beaten them twice in the league, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't about the losses to City. If you can say if the league was lost because of those two losses, you'll say, you know what, hands up, all's fair. But it's the games that you did lose. It's the games that you drew. Southampton.
So let me put it in. I've got the specifics because this is the thing is, I think I've seen someone say something about points total. Like Arsenal could finish the season with like 84 points. 84. So how do you call that a bottle job when it is such a good season numerically? But for me, a bottle job is when pressure comes on and the team completely changes.
Yeah.
And when you look at these last 8 games, which was a possible 24 points, and you get 9 from them, and it's draw, loss, win, loss.
Can you tell us who they drew? And
so sorry, it was draw against Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton, and then defeats to City, Brighton, and Notts Forest. Obviously, they beat Chelsea and Newcastle. I think the Forest defeat really left a bad taste in a lot of Arsenal fans' mouths. For some reason, even though the title had gone, it was like you're handing it to them against the team who literally are fighting relegation.
Yeah.
Is Mikel Arteta improving Arsenal? Yes. Of course he is.
Clear.
But 2 years running, we've seen them like that would cause worry for me as an Arsenal fan. What do you put it down to, Babs?
We have bottled it. The fact we've bottled it, right? You go 9 points out of 24. That's a bottle job, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think people are understanding why Arsenal bottled it. We're not perfect. We're not Man City right now. Man City are a perfect team. They could probably get to 94 points, which is actually, I think, a point more than last season. In the first half of the season, Arsenal had 50 points. And when everyone's fit and available, we're firing all cylinders. We were playing very good football. Everyone's physically on it. I think what we've done, the mistake from Mikel Arteta is he hasn't trusted certain players in key moments. We're talking in the Europa League, in the Carabao Cup, the likes of Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira. They've not got enough minutes, especially Smith Rowe. And from that, now when they've gone to these tough moments of the season, you can't call upon them. Where, I think Man City haven't got a massive squad, but they've got the right profile. So you look at, for example, I think they made the 4th most changes to their first team because you can swap a Mahrez and put in Foden, and there's no drop-off.
There's a lot of like for like.
But we don't have that at Arsenal right now. So Bukayo Saka has started every single game this season and last season. And so when you see Saka now underperforming now towards the end of this season, I'm like, give the guy a rest. You can't swap him. You can't drop him and play him. Man City have got probably 15, 16 world-class players. Arsenal, probably 9, 8, not even world-class, like good top players that we can call upon.
I'm not disagreeing with the word you're saying, but it's more the fact that this is a repetitive issue where you've improved, but the same things have happened again. It's history's repeating itself, and it's not like all these results have been spread over a season. So do you think there's a mental issue?
Oh, yes, there is. But I can understand why there is a mental issue. These players haven't been here before. How do I expect for Gabriel Magalhaes to fight for the title against Ruben Diaz when he's not been here before? We can't grow. You can't just say mentality and it's just on. As fans, it's very easy to go, mentality monsters, but you're sat on your TVs, you're sat at home watching on TV. Yeah. Those guys are on the pitch doing it. It's very hard to just turn it on, especially when you're up against Man City, who, if you watch their documentaries and stuff, they've got winners that have done it 5, 6 years. Was it 4 league titles in 5 years? How are we meant to just compete with like that?
But then, I'm not having that. No, because it's like the problem, the mistake that's been made is in games where you've shown great mentality. There's games where you've come back and you've been solid. When we was in the beginning of the season, we said the first 10 games was like, they can't keep this up. They went a couple games, they kept on going. It's like, before World Cup, they can't keep this up.
Yeah.
They kept it up. So then after, what's really happened is you brought in certain players, and then the hardest thing for a manager, when you have too much to choose, when you have too much to select from, that's when you really know a manager's like his weight in gold, really, because look at the Chelsea situation. There's so many players there, and you have to decide when to bring these players in and when to drop them out. Trossard, Jorginho and stuff, and it's like, when did I make that change? Even when Nketiah was on form, Nketiah was in the team, then for no reason, it's not like he lost ability and stuff, you just kind of took him out. And No, but I'm saying that when he was able to come back, he hasn't played. You've had the same with Nelson, bro. Trust me, I'm an Arsenal hater, bro. I watch you, man. I watch you, man. I watch you, man. So I'm looking, thinking, because I was nervous. I said, this Arsenal team, everything is here for you guys to do it.
You know, another thing that makes me think it's mental is the World Cup break in the middle. So that was a completely new thing this season. It didn't happen the season before, and yet the drop-off almost set your watch to it.
You know what's happening.
Time. I wonder if Mikel Arteta needs to be more conscious of the personality profiles he buys rather than just the playing
Zinchenko crying.
Eddie Howe talks a little bit about that. Eddie Howe talks about this, I want certain types of people.
Yeah.
And with Granit Xhaka looking like he's going, I mean, he's been a bit of a leader for you at times this season. In this summer, he's definitely going to have to look at mentally who he's bringing in.
Yeah, I guess so. And who's Arsenal's main target? Captain of West Ham United.
Declan Rice.
You're looking for a captain profile, like a leader profile there who, in the tough games, rises to the occasion. That's what he wants. So, look, all the things we're saying here, Arteta knows more than anyone. He knows his issues. I think he even said it after the Brighton game. He goes, we have to look at certain players now, and if they're failing like this in the toughest moment of the season, you got to look inside. You got to analyze the stuff.
Do you want to get some older players then? Do you think?
I think so.
I think you need some senior pros in there that can.
It's a mix.
Get
You can't just sign older players and expect them to just do it like that. We need to sign quality players. That's how you compete with Man City. I mean, Rodri wasn't an experienced winner. He was a quality player. They turned into a winner. You become a winner by actually winning trophies. So for Arsenal, that winning mentality will come once they get over the line by winning a league title, maybe next year or beyond that.
But I felt like you guys were looking at certain competitions and probably not giving the respect to like the Europa League. There's no reason why you lot couldn't have gone further. And whatever you can get your hands on, take it seriously and win. But I don't see that you lot have done that. So then now when you say, well, we need to know about winning, well, how are you going to know that if you don't even take the cup competition seriously?
I think Arteta was trying to be too clever. That's what it was. He's like, okay, look, I can see the league title. I can see our quality. He saw what you saw, right? The team is winning games comfortably. They're doing everything right. He's going, okay, why would I jeopardize that opportunity? When you've got this chance, and he knows how good Man City are as well. He knows that next year they might not have that first half blip, which wasn't even a blip, but a blip. And he goes, this might be the prime opportunity. So I think he wanted to maximise that. This is the prime opportunity. Let me not jeopardise it by going for the Europa League. Because look, if we stayed in the Europa League and look at the game, for example, we're talking about here, Sporting Lisbon, Saliba, Tomiyasu out in the first 20 minutes. It could have got even worse. Look at Man United, for example. I think that because he would have seen that, that's why it doesn't justify it though. At Arsenal Football Club, you've got to fight for every single trophy, and I think fans need to ask for that as well. But ultimately speaking, Arteta said it himself. He said it in the last press conference. He goes, if we're in the Champions League next year, with us being there, we need to actually fight on every front. And that comes again from the depth. If you've got depth, if you've got quality, you can take out part A, put in Declan Rice as an example, and not have the drop-off.
This is mad because we're kind of looking at Mikel Arteta like, you're there now, you're the guy, you're the challenger, you're the next Klopp in terms of giving Pep a thorn in his side. But the reality is, in his first 3 full seasons in charge at Arsenal, this is the first time he's broke into top 4. So what are the expectations, do you think, now going to be?
Well, the pressure's going to be on. I mean, almost on every single front, you're going to have to try and compete now. You can't go out in the third round of an EFL. Was it EFL that you were out in the third round?
Brighton.
Yeah. So, and 4th round in the other competition.
Man City away, though. That was...
I mean, but, come on, you can't be going out at that level.
No, you can't, but that's Man City away.
Yeah. Looking at it from a Chelsea perspective, we literally we have to win. We have to get through to semi-finals. We have to get through to finals. The pressure is on. And what I'm worried about for Arsenal now is the pressure that's going to have to go through every single player. You have to have a cultural change, don't you? When you're saying that there isn't mentality, I'm scared for that because now you've got to add players in and you've got to improve the players that are there. And I just don't see it. So where do you think the individuals are going to come? Like, who are you going to have to sign to actually make a difference?
I think the individuals grow into it first things first. Certain players become that over the course of a season. So Saka for the first half, maybe 3/4 of the season, was that guy. Most game-changing goals in terms of 1-0 and that type of game state. Yeah. So he has shown he can do it, but he needs a bit of rest. So maybe next year when you've got a bit of rotation, he can do it again towards the end of the season. But these players, I think they'll look at this and go, they'll be in pain right now. And now it's down to you. When you're down like this, everyone's laughing at you. And people like you, your bottle jobs and that. Now you watch this. Now you look at this.
Also, you need competition as well. You need fear in those top players to go, if my level drops, someone else is coming in.
I'll give you a prime example. Leandro Trossard was signed in January. Martinelli was out of form. He took him out. against Aston Villa. He came back out of nowhere and scored, I think, 5 and 5.
Big
So
mentality.
that's a prime example of what you're saying.
And that's big mentality. So there's players, even as a hater, I will still say there's some really good players in the Arsenal team. The only issue that I feel that you lot might have to deal with, and maybe people could say this is just hate, but I think the Oleism is going to come where you sign when the expectation, right? We bought in Cristiano Ronaldo, and I knew my manager was going. We bought in Ronaldo, and I thought, Ronaldo is not here for competing for top 4 or nothing. He's here to win it. He's here to win it all. Yeah, and you could see in the presses, they'll say to Ronaldo, "So what do you want?" He'll be like, "Well, medals, trophies." And then when they ask Ollie the same question, he's like, "Oh, calm down. Listen, we're just gonna."
Yeah, Ollie was great at managing expectations and saying, "Well, Manchester City are the team right now," and that's the thing. If you do sign a top player, you don't need to sign I don't think for them, just quickly land this one, I don't think for you guys you need to sign a top player. I think the expectation of the Arsenal fan, they were really down before. Now Arsenal fans, they expect to challenge next season.
No, I
and they
expect to win
to
next
be in.
season. I want to win next season.
It's
not even that.
Arteta's a gunner.
I'm saying in the sense of it is going to be tough.
I wonder if there'll be a hangover. I'm not saying that there will. I'm just saying.
You can look at it too as I think every time Arsenal, the last 3 times we won the league title, I know it was a long time ago, but we were second the year before that. We fell short. I mean, the Invincibles year, we kind of fell short, right? Remember that? You remember that?
Still.
Well, that happened to Liverpool. They had that mentality shift where because they didn't win it, it actually focused them from the get-go next season. Yeah. But then you've also got other teams like Spurs who don't win it and then they never recover.
I always look at that Spurs team in 16-17. I looked at actually examples of teams that finished second, bottled the title, whatever you want to say, how they do the next year. And Spurs 16-17, I think it was Liverpool in 13-14. Those are 2 examples that stand out straight away. And what Liverpool did was sold their best player. Suarez went. I don't expect for Arsenal to sell our best player. So Liverpool, for me, we're not going to be like Liverpool next year that drop off to 5th place, for example. Spurs, they invested in the wrong areas. They signed Davinson Sanchez for £40 million. And kind of that was it. So for Arsenal this year, if we look at those teams there and go, right, you guys failed, you didn't invest in that moment of time. This time we'll invest. We'll go and sign your Declan Rice. We'll go and sign who you want. But that's the right statement.
There's a lot to do though, isn't there?
Of course.
If you really want to go far in the Champions League, there is a lot. You almost need to get 2 players for every position to actually compete. Let's be honest. And you're saying now you only have 9 top quality world class.
We've got an 11. We've got an 11. I believe our starting 11, which started 7 this game and won all 7. I thought and scored 18, conceded 3 goals. That 11 for me is good enough to compete. Right? Yeah. Now you make that more. Now you add more players behind Saliba.
How much money are we talking, do you think?
Well, reports say 200 mil was available, and that's before players.
That's like 2 players, though, isn't it?
I mean, not Rice.
Rice is 100 million, so that's half the budget.
Rice is, but you also have to understand Arsenal will be ruthless now.
Yeah.
Xhaka, for example, he's been amazing for Arsenal, but maybe Arsenal realise, okay, do you need a long-term contract? No. Is it time to be ruthless? Yes.
But then you've got to replace him.
We have, and that's what we're going for.
I'm surprised you're not keeping him as a Jordan Henderson, James Milner type.
Yeah, surprising.
Like when you look at the level of competitions that you're going to be competing on, he would be, especially as a character in the dressing room, just to let him go completely.
They pulled him out of the squad though. What happened with Xhaka? Is that everything okay there? Or
everything's fine. I think Arsenal are just paying respect to him in the sense of he wants to play every week.
Fair enough.
He knows that if we sign someone, he won't play every week.
Yeah.
And wherever he's been in his career, Mönchengladbach, Arsenal, Switzerland, wherever, he starts every week.
Yeah.
So he can't sit on the bench for us.
I actually rate that, There's not enough of that going on when you've got Calvin Phillips here just kissing his career goodbye in his prime.
Happy to just take
and,
it.
and also,
give me the medal.
It's about contracts at this stage of his career. At Arsenal, he might get a 2-year extension. At Leverkusen, it's a long-term contract, long-term project. For him, the player, why not go back to the Bundesliga?
Does anyone around this table fear for Arsenal getting top 4 next season?
I honestly feel that it depends on the start and it depends on the other teams. Because let's be fair about this year. You see that Liverpool side, they're going to be wicked next season. That's one thing that we all know at this table that Liverpool are going to do what they need to do next season. Chelsea with Pochettino, while it's funny this season, they'll be fine next season. So now we're still here. So then, and you guys are top 4 now. So there could be some 101 rule breaks to, you lot could do that too. So now there's so many, you're hoping that everyone stands still, but the league is not going to stand still. We're going to move forward. So I don't know how, honestly, how you guys will finish in the top 4.
Well, listen, wait.
Where do you think you're going to finish?
First.
Is it
They're going to clip that, bro.
seriously?
I believe, my honest belief as a fan is Arsenal will win a major honour next year. Champions League or Premier League.
Huh? Champions League. Just
That's-
say Premier League.
Or Premier League.
So
title.
what is going to be different next season from what happened this season with City? Like,
We will
is
get
City
even
going to
better.
drop off?
No, they won't. But to beat City to a title, Liverpool needed 99 points. But realistically, it's 95. 95 is a realistic aim. Arsenal this year, 84. So we're talking 11-point gain.
So what's
Four,
Bav's
5
game
wins.
plan? What's Bav's game plan?
It's not my game, it's Mikel
but
Arteta's game
what would be your game plan to
sounds
get Arsenal to
crazy.
be number one? In
First things first, the players will improve even more.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about Martinelli at 29, Saka at 29. These guys are 21, so they get even better. They understand the game more. They have more experience. They've been in these environments now. Also, you're talking about Chelsea, United, or whatever. The only team that has gone toe to toe with Man City and know what it's like would be Man City is now Arsenal.
Is Liverpool.
And Liverpool.
Not Arsenal.
No,
Oh, you lot
Arsenal and
bottled it.
Liverpool.
No.
United haven't been in a title. One second.
Bro,
my point
there's
is,
a big difference
my
of what
point is,
Liverpool
so
did
for you
versus
guys to
what you
win a
did.
title next year as in United or Chelsea or whoever else, you guys don't know what it is to be in a fight with Man City yet.
Bro,
Because you've not been there since
mans-
2012.
Listen, I'm not even taking the liberties, and there's not even the original hate that I have for it. Yeah, I'm telling you now, you lot's bums went.
No, we know, we've
totally.
collapsed.
There's a difference when you see that Liverpool one. That's last day of the season, bro. You lot handed them the title today. You said, you know what? Don't play. We'll give it to you. You had to beat Nottingham Forest. Brighton pulled up. There's big games for you lot to win, don't say that you went to the wire because you didn't.
Unless Arsenal go out there and sign someone who has a track record in the
Winner.
team of winning titles. I don't care if it's La Liga, just a top level player who's won plenty of either Champions Leagues or anything. Like, I'm going to bring it back to Newcastle, but we brought in Kieran Trippier who just won La Liga.
Yeah.
And he had a totally different mentality to everyone else in the squad. And now obviously Kieran Trippier's a kind of specialised position, but the point I'm making is those are the players that all of a sudden help you get through those games.
Jorginho
And I think
was a smart
I
one.
think Arsenal just need a few more of them before I'm going to be like, yes, it's going to happen. But you also need just at least 2 players who come in and go, we've won titles. We know
Yeah,
Oh,
what we're doing.
that is important. But I'll ask you a question. How many times, look who we're fighting against, Man City done that?
What do you mean?
How many times have they bought winners? Winners. Not,
Oh
not-
no, but they got the
They got no,
the
but what
goat in Pep, innit?
they go, of course, but what they go for is they go for profiles over this whole winning stuff, right? Experience, whatever. They always go for the right profile of top quality players. Declan Rice is a top quality player. I'd argue he's a level raiser. Now I talk at Arsenal about last season. You had no Zinchenko, no Jesus, no Saliba. The year before, these guys came in, raised the level to a title contention.
Yeah, that's
You go and sign more level raisers.
Yeah.
That 84 point, if you get 84 points, becomes potentially 95.
I completely agree. And everything you're saying is spot on. I'm just saying at least there just needs to be at least one
No,
player
does,
brought
you're
in
right.
who's like,
I'm just
done-
very scared of being these guys under Oli.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because they had
Telling you.
winners. They signed Ronaldo, he's a winner. They signed Varane, he's a winner. And how'd that
Yeah.
work out for you?
But then-
Casemiro,
but-
31.
Oh no, this season, and that's what's been a difference. What you're talking about, it's still there. Fragile FC, like we struggle with the fact of away from home. It's been disgusting. But then you can see in games where the mentality of, because we have the similar issues, right? But our manager's his first year in what he's trying to build. But we leaked a goal against West Ham. It was the worst goal I've ever seen in my life. Ben Rama, I think it was. It just tapped in, and the reaction from all the players, body language, hands on head, everyone was down, and we just couldn't recover. And this is the difference that has been is this season with the Martinez, the Casemiros, and Varanes of this world, they've pushed us on because we were horrible. If we finish in the top 4, then you can say that piece there has been added. So now it's for Arsenal to find those players, which is very difficult unless you got the real scouting network, because you got 200 million to spend, and that now in nowadays football, that's not a lot of money. Declan Rice is 100 million straight, so you still need to bring in another striker, would you say? Or you're going to bring back Balogun?
I'm looking for a forward, not a striker. Oh, I need to find a way to help Saka out. I can't leave Saka on his own again. So I need
Okay.
to sign a right forward, or is it a striker and then you move Jesus out wide? So I need a forward, you're right.
So that's like 45 million.
A forward, yeah, a forward for 40, 50 mil.
Yeah.
A midfielder like Rice for 100 mil, we're talking maybe a full. Now, this is what I'm saying about Caicedo, though, right? This is why Moses Caicedo will be a game changer. You sign 2 midfielders, he helps like solidify your midfield for 10 years potentially. But he can also play right back.
Look, how much was Caicedo though? You tried to buy him.
So
last
the
time.
reports are saying 80 mil is how much he's going to cost.
So you'll spend 180 million on 2 players already.
Yeah,
bro.
and then so that's what I'm saying. It'll be 200 million pounds is what they'll spend. And then plus player sales, the likes of Smith Rowe and Tierney and so on and so forth. These players will go for
Those are players out of the squad. Then
They
you've got to
are.
replace. Then you got
They
to
are.
replace
That's the
those squad
point.
players.
So it's about now Arsenal being very careful who they let go of and how much they spend. But yeah, the owners need to back it.
We can't be saying Saliba's getting injured and that's why Arsenal have dropped off next year.
I'm not saying
that can't happen.
I'm not saying
can't
that is
happen
that is the key reason why though. But the point is, if that happens next year, be prepared. Don't throw in Rob Holding against Erling Haaland and expect him to go and turn up out of nowhere.